Okay, we now have all of the tools that we need to be able to add or subtract rational expressions with different denominators. We follow exactly the same steps that we do to add or subtract fractions of numbers. We find the LCD, write equivalent fractions with that denominators, add the new fractions which now have the same denominator, and finally we simplify if we can. So here are two rational expressions with different denominators. We're going to try to add them. So we have x plus 4 over 2x squared plus x minus 6 plus 3x plus 1 over 2x squared minus 13x plus 15. First, we need to find the least common denominator. So we need to factor each of our denominators. I'm ignoring the numerators at this point. Those are a problem for the future. I'm just going to look at 2x squared plus x minus 6 and 2x squared minus 13x plus 15 and try to factor them. Those are both quadratic trinomials with leading coefficient not 1. So I'm going to use the AC method for both of them. For the first one, I have AC is negative 12 and B is 1. So I'll fill in my 2x squared, my minus 6, two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add up to positive 1. I think that that's going to be positive 4x and negative 3x. In my first row, I'll have 2x as the greatest common factor. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 2 really is negative 6. So my first denominator factors as 2x minus 3 times x plus 2. Second one, 2x squared minus 13x plus 15. So 2x squared plus 15. I'll have AC is positive 30, B is negative 13. So I'll need two negative numbers that multiply to 30 and add up to negative 13. I think I'll split that up as negative 10x minus 3x. First row, I've got a common factor of 2x. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 5 really is positive 15. So my second denominator factors as 2x minus 3 times x minus 5. Putting that together, I'm going to get my LCD. It has a factor of 2x minus 3. That appears in both of these denominators. It has a factor of x plus 2. That appears only in the first one. It has a factor of x minus 5. That appears only in the second. And that's all of the factors. So that's my LCD. I'm not going to multiply that out. Next, we want to rewrite the given fractions with that denominator. So my first fraction, I have x plus 4 over, here I'm going to write its denominator in factored form, 2x minus 3 times x plus 2. And I want to write an equivalent to that that has my common denominator. 2x minus 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 5. So I see that the 2x minus 3 and the x plus 2 were already factors of my original denominator. To get the common denominator, I need to multiply my numerator also by an x minus 5. So multiplying out the numerator, because I'm going to have to do addition to it, I'll have x times x is x squared. X times negative 5 plus x times positive 4 is going to be a negative x. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. So that's my first fraction rewritten. Second one, and again, I'm going to write the denominator in factored form. I've got 3x plus 1 over 2x minus 3 times x minus 5. And I want to rewrite that with my common denominator. Looking at that common denominator, I see that 2x minus 3 and x minus 5 are already factors of the given denominator. So, in order to rewrite, I just need to multiply the numerator, which was 3x plus 1, by this extra x plus 2. So multiplying out the numerator now, 3x times x is going to be a 3x squared. 3x times 2 is 6x, plus 1x is going to be 7x. And then 1 times 2 will have plus 2. We have successfully written our fractions with the common denominator. Now we need to add them. So we'll have x squared minus x minus 20 plus 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 all over that common denominator, 2x minus 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 5. And then in the numerator, we're adding two polynomials. So associative property says we can just drop the parentheses and combine like terms. X squared plus 3x squared, that's going to be 4x squared. Negative x plus 7x, that's going to be plus 6x. Negative 20 plus positive 2, that's going to be negative 18. And again, that's still all over the common denominator. We are now done doing addition. If we don't need to simplify, we can stop here. In this case, we do need to simplify our final answer. So our denominator is already factored. We just need to factor our numerator. We have 4x squared plus 6x minus 18. We can factor out a common 2 and have 2x squared plus 3x minus 9. Leading coefficient is not 1, so we want to use the AC method. So we'll have our 2x squared, our negative 9, AC is negative 18, B is positive 3. I think we want to split this as 6x minus 3x. And then in our first row, we have a common factor of 2x. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times plus 3 is 6x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9. So my numerator will factor as 2 times 2x minus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, let's put that into our actual fraction. In the denominator, we still have that common denominator we found, 2x minus 3 times x plus 2 times x minus 5. In the numerator, we'll have 2 times 2x minus 3 times x plus 3. And we see a common factor of 2x minus 3 that we can cancel out. And so our rational expression simplifies to 2 times x plus 3 over x plus 2 times x minus 5. And it is totally fine to leave that in factored form. If we really want it with everything multiplied out, we can say 2x plus 6, distributing the 2 in the numerator. In the denominator, x times x is x squared. X times negative 5 times x plus positive 2 is going to be a negative 3x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Now, there's something I want you to notice about this addition problem. This addition problem took an entire page to write out in detail. These are problems that like their space. Work carefully, give yourself enough space to work, write down the gory details, and you will always get these right. If you try to rush these, you will get lost. But if you give yourself time and space, adding rational expressions is not difficult. It's just time consuming.